And we are live. Ooh, okay. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Drinks and Dogs. This is episode 24. And I have on, as usual, Mr. Katie Matthews and our special guest today, Mr. Tom Davis. So cheers,
Howdy.
guys. Let's do our little cheers here. Cheers, everybody.
Na zdrowie.
Happy Friday.
Gross.
So we'll get into how we know each other. But I mean, Tom, I've known you for, it's been quite some time now. And then Katie, obviously, you've been with us with the whole, since we started Drinks and Dogs and everything. So let's check in here. How's everything going with, actually, Katie, I'll start with you. So you're on a bit of a little adventure here, huh?
Yeah, traveling the East Coast. Right now, I am in Quakerstown, Pennsylvania. Yesterday, I stopped in Georgia, saw some clients in North Carolina, and tomorrow is a 10 to 12 hour all day long meeting for the Kindred. I've spoken about that before. It's our mastermind of collective dog trainers where we work on our businesses and improving our ability to serve our clients all day long tomorrow in the Poconos. And then Sunday, I'm going to head over to New Jersey, hang out with Matt Rogers on Instagram, Canine Matt. A lot of people know him. Do some training. Then I'll be heading up Tom's way into the Upstate New York, Capital District, Albany, Schenectady, Troy area for a little bit. Then Western New York. I'm going to go meet up with Bob Owens. I met him on the show. Like, we clicked.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, dude.
Days out
Bob Owens is the man.
Like, super cool. We're going to drink beer. I'm going to learn some bird dog stuff. I'm going to give him my input. Then I'm heading out to Boston, actually, to link up with Tyler Falconer from Falco Canine. Be out there.
Nice.
And I got some clients in Rhode Island. I mean, it's a fucking, like, 2-week long journey.
It's a tour.
Shit. I hate driving. I would never be able to do that.
My new truck is fucking awesome, by the way. Team Mopar. All day long. I mean, that Cummins has been getting 23 miles per gallon on a 1,000-mile trip.
That's pretty good.
And Tom, you have a giant truck too, right?
I have 2 giant trucks, but yeah,
These are Ford.
my 6.7 gets like 16 miles per gallon, so it's pretty nice that you get 20 something.
Should have got Cummins.
I know. I like the Ford interior though. The King Ranch are nice.
This is true.
Touche.
I have seen it. All right, Tom, what's going on with you, man? How's everything been?
Good, man. Everything's been good. Been crazy, man. We got a lot of stuff going on. Just been, grinding it out for the No Bad Dogs, my clothing brand, if you want to call it that. We're really like producing a lot more shirts with like different messages to kind of represent what we do, and so I've been really working hard at that. We just got a new facility, Mike, which because you're going to come to it this fall. So we just got a new facility. It's 15,000 square feet, so it's 4 times bigger than the one we're in now.
Nice.
Doing a ton of construction with that. So that's been, it's been a thing. We're basically building out training rooms, and the offices are up front and stuff. So yeah, I've been really busy with that, and getting married next month. So that's been busy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Putting in, man. So yeah, everything's been going good. Crazy as usual.
Yeah, I've been seeing the No Bad Dogs stuff out a lot more. Looks good. Good on that.
Thank you. Yeah, we're trying to I want to get more creative with things, with dog stuff. I like to be creative, kind of making new designs, and I got a couple funny ones coming out. Just funny designs that basically turning ideas, that you would see in a meme basically into like a dog design. And I've been, just representing that. So, been doing a lot of filming, been doing a lot of traveling. So yeah, I've been pushing that hard.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I saw some of the content and some of the shirts. And good shit as usual, dude.
Thank you, dude. Appreciate you.
Awesome, man. So let's see. Let's not do questions yet. All right. So let's go ahead. Oh, my phone and Conor McGregor today. What the fuck is going on?
Are you guys gonna watch? Where's that fight this weekend?
It's tomorrow night.
Tomorrow.
Are you? You're
Yeah,
Katie.
we'll
You're
probably
going
end up.
with. Sorry, Mike. Katie. You're going
Go
to Bob's tomorrow.
No, I'm tomorrow. I'll be in the Poconos all day, and I'm coming back to this lovely hotel room, and hopefully going to go watch the fight. Another trainer I know who lives around here, go to his house. I'll probably won't go to Bob's until maybe later this next week or the week after. I got to sure up dates with him.
You got to get the Traeger. Get the Traeger fired up.
Oh, he's got a Traeger?
Yes, he does.
Oh, he will be. Now that I know that, that will be a prerequisite.
Yes. I want to see pictures. Text me pictures.
He drinks really cheap beer, so he
I
needs
know.
something to balance it out, and the Traeger will balance it out.
He's a Bush guy.
Yes, he is.
Oh, God.
More ways than one.
I'll say that can go bad very quickly. And then for those who may not know who Bob is, Bob Owens was a guest on here, and he's from the Lone Duck podcast and his own training as well. Awesome dude all around. And then he's in your area, right, Tom?
Yeah. I mean, he switches. I actually met Bob. Is this like cool dialogue? Can we just talk about random stuff? Or no?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if it was like a Q&A type thing.
Fuck it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so I met Bob at at SHOT Show in Vegas, and which is it's like an outdoor guns kind of dog stuff. Anyway, he was working with the Yukonuba guys, and I was working with Dogcha, and we went out and like with these big shows, especially SHOT shows, Yukonuba actually rented out a bar for like 5 hours, all you can drink, with like just dog people of like, you know, all over the spectrum. So anyway, we ended up drinking quite a bit of beers and getting to know each other. But to answer your question, Bob is originally, I think, from Syracuse or Western New York, and he has his kennel, I think, down in South Carolina. Is that right, Katie? Or no? Or is he in New York?
I thought he's in Western New York.
Yeah, he bounces back and forth. He bounces back and forth.
Oh, he better be in New York, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he goes back and forth, but he does have like a kennel in South Carolina when it gets cold. In New York, obviously, it's hard to do bird stuff with dogs up here. So anyway, proceed.
Easy. So Bob Owens, everybody, check him out.
Check out and folks watching, check out the episode, the Drinks and Dogs episode that Bob was on. That was I really enjoyed that episode. Like, we talked about some great stuff that could be of value to a lot of diverse dog owners.
It's true. All right. So let's get into a couple topics. So I've obviously, Tom, like I've known how we know each other. I've known you. When did you come down to San Jose? Like 6 years ago?
Dude, long time ago. You're my oldest dog friend. So like a long time. I don't know.
It was like 6-7 years ago. And man, I think I might have heard of KD through Tom. Like probably, on Instagram somewhere. Like some of the posts, at some point, some way that might have been the way that I've either heard of KD or at least mentioned that, because I know you guys had linked up prior to me and you talking, right, KD? Yeah,
that's actually kind of cool. I didn't know that you came across me because of Tom, which just like, let me put my arm,
Tom or Karina,
my virtual arm around both of you guys. You
know, I
know,
probably reposted like a meme that you did, KD.
Probably
on my Instagram or something.
Yeah. So, well, I met Tom. It's been at least like 4 years now, 3 or 4 years.
5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I don't know, Mike, if I told you, but you know, and I think it's absolutely a relevant, fun. It's a fun story, but it's really relevant for everybody watching and the entire community, because there's a moral at the end of this kind of fun, intoxicating story, literally intoxicating. So I came across Tom on YouTube, and I saw a video, and I'm like, okay, I'm watching it, and I saw some things I was like, and I told Tom this when I met him. I'm like, I was going to troll you, dude. Like, I was going to say something smart ass, but I was a lot older, more mature than I was 20 years ago. And I was like, no, that's not productive. Come to find out, like, that moment passed, I go up to upstate New York, where I'm from. I'm hanging out with one of my childhood friends, Jason Smith. Shout out, well, Jason Von Guinness is his name now. I've been friends with this guy since 3rd grade. He's got a dog. And he's like, hey, do you know a guy named, you ever heard of Tom Davis? And I Google it. I'm like, yeah, I actually, like, I've seen that guy before. Why are you asking me that? And he's like, oh, I took my dog to him and da-da-da. Turns out Jason and Tom click, you know, client, trainer, but Jason cool as fuck. And they became chummy. So then I reach out to, now I got to talk to Tom. I got to meet this fucking guy. I hit him up. Jason kind of like mediates it, meet him, ask Tom if he'd be gracious enough to like record what hopefully would be a podcast one day. So we meet up at a brewery and Jason's working the camera. Tom's there with his fiance and we're hanging out. And I proceed to get absolutely shit-faced fucking wasted. I'm like, we're drinking 9-10% IPAs. I'm like, we're 10 minutes into the show, and I'm like 5 IPAs deep. And needless to say, that never aired. And that was Tom and I's first like trust experience. And I'm really big on the word friend is, I look at the word friend very differently, you know, and you know, Tom and I have hung out. Are we friends? Well, we have an alliance. We have something growing, but I'll say this, you have to go through shit with people to start to build with them. And it's completely relevant to dogs, by the way, because like trust building with a dog isn't affection. It's going through some shit together and realizing you can trust one another. Well, right off the bat, I had to put some trust in Tom because I made a complete fucking ass of myself and didn't air this show. And he was like, cool, man. Like, I paid for the beers. He's like, thank you for the beer. I had a great time with you. No fucking worries, man. Like, it's all good. And I was like, okay, this guy's kind of fucking cool. And from there, you know, we started interacting, and we've had a couple interactions where there was trust required both ways. And the reason why I'm sharing this story is, you know, right now in the dog training community, in the world of dogs, there's a war going on. And there's a huge body of people who are trying to regulate everything we do with animals. And they don't know shit about animals. They're trying to take away our tools. They're trying to take away what we do and how we do it. And, you know, in this community, like there's 3 of us on this panel. We got dog owners watching right now and people that are going to watch this on YouTube. We got dog trainers watching right now. You know, listen, you're not going to agree with everything every other trainer that you see does. There are things Tom does or things he says that I wouldn't do or I wouldn't say. And I guarantee you there are things I do that Tom wouldn't say or put out on his social media. But that doesn't mean we're not on the same team. There's no reason for us to try to populate the other side of the battlefield, to quote one of my mentors, Justin Garcia. You know, we got to work together to realize we got to help dogs. And the only way we can help dogs is by respecting one another and talk. There's been Tom knows there's been things I was like, dude, why'd you do that? But I called him. I fucking called him on the phone. I was like, dude, talk to me about that. And we talked about it. We broke it down like, okay, I get you. All right, we're on the same page. Like, more people need to do that. That's my soapbox.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the reason why we started Drinks and Dogs. I remember the idea when we first started, when we talked about this, especially when all the COVID was going on. I felt like that was a good point or a good starting point to actually start having dog trainers talk to each other versus talk about each other like it always fucking happens. You know, now you talk about like the war that is, you know, people trying to regulate the type of tools that we use, how we train and do the different things that we're doing. You know, as far as kind of presenting a united front, I mean, it starts with dog trainers, really. I mean, and dog trainers, instead of, you know, kind of just talking shit about other dog trainers, because for some reason in this industry, that's like a very popular thing. I have no clue why that's a popular thing, but it's, you know, I feel like a lot of dog trainers feel like they get ahead by talking bad about somebody else. but in reality, you just kind of look like an asshole. So that's a big thing with Drinks and Dogs was to kind of bring trainers together from different fields. I mean, fuck, on Drinks and Dogs we've had, I mean, obviously Tom's on, we're all different in general. Bob's been on here. Fuck, we had Rampage on here. Fuck, like Faraz. I mean, like a variety of different people in general, all having, a conversation and it being fine. Everything's been great. We've had nothing but good episodes and nothing but positive communication. I think that's an extremely important. Actually, one of the gentlemen that's been on this, our Drinks and Dogs, Howard Young, is on here. What's up, Howard? And like everyone talk. Yeah, we might train a little differently. Some of us can be a little quicker with the tongue, like KD. But at the end of the day, we're all in it for the same purpose, and that's for the betterment of dogs and to help handlers out with their dogs, no matter what we're doing. As long as we're not abusing dogs and doing crazy shit like that, then hey, we can have a conversation about dogs and have a good time. And that's like the whole point, of this, at least, of Drinks and Dogs and PCU and everything that we've been doing.
Hey, Tom, I got a question for you.
Shoot.
Sum up what Upstate Canine's mission is. What is your mission, man? Like, for people who don't know you, what's your goal?
My goal is to educate first, help build relationships second with dogs and their owners, and provide, a community service that helps these dogs that are out there. And so I don't really have like a mission statement per se written down for Upstate Canine, but Upstate Canine Academy, for those of you who don't know, is my actual brick and mortar business. So like Mike has Primal Canine and all these other things that are umbrellaed around it. So like Upstate Canine Academy is my actual facility. And then everything else that happens around that is my kind of umbrella things of different side things. So the Upstate Canine Academy is, it's HQ, it's the headquarters, it's the place that we craft. That's the place that we, it's the place that we get it on. I mean, that's our MMA mat, if you will. Like, we really just try to help as many people out as we can through education, and, taking dogs that nobody else likes to, and making it an approachable way and empower dog owners to become better.
What do you see?
I've been to Upstate.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike.
No, I was like, it's cool now because I've been up to 2 of your locations now, right?
What's that? Sorry, Mike. You cut out.
I've been to 2 of the Upstate Canines now, right?
Yeah.
This will be the third one when I get out there in October, November.
Yep.
My battery's running low. I gotta find a plug in this fucking hotel room. Jesus Christ.
Good luck.
Don't catch hepatitis.
Good, I might.
But there's also a funny story about drinking with Mike that I wanted to discuss. I don't know, Katie, if you've heard this, but I basically, like, when I was on Instagram, again, Mike, I think that was like 7, maybe 8 years ago. It was a long time ago. And I just reached out to Mike when he was in San Jose. I was in New York. I just started getting into training, and I messaged him and I was like, hey man, love what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Can I come out and work with you and shadow you and kind of see, like, it was right when I started transitioning into training, really, like when I started getting into a lot of training. It was like right after you guys graduated from the caves into where you were at the time. I don't know if you had a name for that, but basically Mike's like, yeah, hell yeah, dude, come out. Came out. And that was like the first year or 2. I can't remember, but it was right when I was getting into dogs. And so I was trying to learn more about everything I could, the terminology, what to say, what not to say, how to say it, how to work with clients, things like that. And so Mike and I did some training, watched some of the personal protection stuff, and then we went out to dinner. And Mike literally fed me drinks for like 2.5 hours straight. And I was taking a red eye back to New York. So I was leaving San Jose to go back to Albany, New York. And Mike was like, he was just like, yeah, we'll take another round. Yeah, we'll take another round. Yeah, we'll take another round. And I'm like, dude, what is going on right now? Wasted. And then once I gave up and I threw in the towel, I'm like, all right, I appreciate, I was just trying to be like hospitable. I was like, all right, man, I appreciate the drinks, but I can't drink anymore. And then Mike started with the shots, started throwing shots. I haven't taken a shot of liquor in like, I don't know how long. But anyway, Mike was like, I was like 20, I was like
It was a
probably
lot.
23. Yeah. I mean, and Mike was just throwing shots at me. And I remember like I got onto the plane. I almost didn't get on the plane because I couldn't find my gate. Looking back on it, it's hilarious, but at the time it sucked. But anyway, I wanted to throw that in because that also happened. Just a side note.
This
Now
is
I don't
true.
feel so bad.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
KD, we had a cordial, calm evening that night. You and I, Mike was like trying to break a Guinness World Record or something. He's like, how many shots can I feed this guy from New York? It was unbelievable. And he's done that in New York too. He's done that. He's come up here. And I remember I'll leave him in the bar. He'll sit there and like, yeah, shots. I'll leave. I just walk right out. I'm like, I'm peacing out.
This is true. What? Yeah, you left me like.
Except for Go ahead.
Where was that? Where were we at? That was that. Were we in the
We were in
downtown area?
Yeah, Downtown City Tavern, and you were just doing fireball shots at like 11, and that was like in the morning, and that was like terrible. But the last time you came up for your yeah, it was bad. The last time you came up for your last seminar, it was we went to Chili's, and we were very respectable, and we didn't drink too much at all. So anyway.
That was because we were also pulling. Everyone was involved in that seminar was pulling like 12-hour days with 2 different seminars.
Yeah.
So yeah, borderline guys. If you hang out with any one of us at any given time, you can go south very fast. So
listen, Mike. Like if you and I get to drinking, we need chaperones because like we might end up. Hey, you want to roll? Like I mean. I would never ask Tom to do that, but I might ask you like, hey, let's check out your game. Let's see what's up. I mean, things happen.
I have done that once after the premiere of our documentary, and we were over there, and then there's these guys wrestling in like the base of like the La Quinta. And I mean, apparently in full blown suit and tie, drunk Mike decides it's a really good idea to go ahead and do that at the lobby of the La Quinta. And all I know is that there was a chair broken, but my suit was intact. That's all I know.
That's classy.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I might get naked. So, I mean, I don't know about a suit, but I mean, I might slap some Vaseline on and we're going to roll naked. But I mean, that's just how things happen.
There we go, guys.
Yeah. Well, anyway, how about the next?
So I did some Q&A on
Instagram.
On the Instagram. Let me pull some questions up here.
Yeah, folks.
Tommy, you guys do
like we do listen to your questions, and when Mike, especially, you'll see on the PCU Online Instagram, which all of you should be following, and the Primal Canine, which you should be following. Like they put the Q&As up. So if you're watching this now for the first time, like keep an eye on those Instagrams because when Mike posts those questions, we can get a chance to talk about it when we get on the show.
Exactly. Tom, are you doing, just so I know to filter these, do you guys do personal protection at Upstate?
Not really. Not really anymore. Chris Jones did, the majority of it. And he's busy being a cop, so we don't really do it anymore.
He's busy doing the cop stuff. Shout out to Chris Jones. Is he the number 2 decoy in the world, Tom?
I think he's number 1, man.
Number
one.
Katie, there's Chris Jones. If you haven't heard of him, he's a really cool guy, and he was one of Tom's personal protection trainers. Or he's a cop. He's a canine cop.
What department?
Albany.
That's Tom.
Wait, so does he work with Ken Stern?
Yeah.
I went to high school with Ken Stern.
Really? Yeah. Yeah. Ken knows Chris very well.
Yeah, Ken was like a year ahead of me or 2 years ahead of me, and it wasn't until I think I started following you on social media. Somehow I saw something with Ken, and I messaged him like, dude, did you go to Ichabod Crane? I think I was an underclassman under you. Like, I know you, dude. He's like, yeah, I know who you are.
That's funny.
Just shout out to Chris Jones and Ken Stern. All right. So this is a question that kind of goes with all of us because we do board and trains, and Katie, you do a lot of behavioral things when it comes to coaching. So this one said from Kristen Trout, I believe,
Oh, that's what
if
I'm
reactivity is if reactivity is often based on poor relationship between dog and owner, how do board and trains? How do board and trains work? I'm assuming is what she's saying. Uh,
Tom.
I'll you guys. Yeah, Tom, you can go with this one first.
Yeah, I think so. Is the question if the relation if we're talking about relationships with dog owners and dogs, what's the benefit of doing a board and train, or what's the point?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. So I think like every single I know that this is going to be redundant. It's probably said a billion times. So obviously, every dog in this situation is different, but I think a lot of people who like I like doing board and train stuff for like basic obedience, kind of just getting the juices flowing of the reward systems, the basic behaviors, getting a routine set up for dog owners who are just too busy, or whatever it may be. I think that it is like, for what we do during consultations, is we're very open and honest to say we are professional dog trainers and we will be really great with your dog at the end of the board and train, but it's up to you to make sure that the transfer goes really good. You pay attention, you're taking notes, you record it, and the conditioning that happens after that is huge. So there are certain behavioral problems that I don't think will ever really go away if it's stemming from the owner, if they're not willing to change. So I think the board and train is a really good first step for some people. Like I told a client today it's something that they may want to get into because they're buying a new house and they're expecting a baby and the dog just is kind of getting lost in all this. I'm like, hey, if you need help with obedience and you got some extra money and you got 4 weeks to drop your dog off to have a trainer jumpstart your obedience and jumpstart all that and get the juices flowing, it's a good idea. So I think absolutely, we get that question all the time about like, why would people do that if it is really up to the owner? And it certainly is. But I also think that having a professional handle your dog for 4 to 5 weeks every single day and starting things is also beneficial for people who don't know how to start it or don't have time to.
Yeah, absolutely. Katie?
Yes, the owner-dog relationship is paramount. And in the long run, when we're talking about long-term success, long-term, well after any interactions with a trainer, that owner absolutely needs to be educated on everything that, like, understanding a dog, why this was happening, and the changes they need to make. While that is paramount, when we use the word reactivity, like, I hate the word reactivity. I'll use it occasionally, because it's common language, but I don't like the word because it's a label. It isn't a description. It's a label we attach. And I'm a big fan of stop labeling, describe. Tell me what you see. Don't tell me what you think it is. When you have some dogs, especially if this behavior, this state of mind, if this state of mind in the animal has been going on for some time. We're talking a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old dog, like, it's been going on for years. In those situations, the board and train is very valuable for deprogramming the dog. Now, what I mean by deprogramming the dog is the dog has a perspective. A lot of it is based on the relationship it has with its owner. But at the end of the day, the dog feels like, when I see this, or when I feel this, I can resolve those problems by doing this, which is typically the observable aggressive behavior. If that behavior has occurred at such a level of frequency, if it has been reinforced continually, every time the dog barks at someone and lunges at them, they go away, right? Behavior has been reinforced. In those situations, that behavior can be so strong that the dog owner does not have the skills, even with coaching, to deprogram that. The board and train, the professional trainer can do that work to change that dog's perspective, to take that the behavior that the dog is using to resolve its problems. It's typically an observable aggressive behavior. It's a form of violence and aggression, barking, growling, biting, hunting. The professional trainer in the board and train is going to be much more well equipped to deprogram that dog, to teach the dog that, hey, listen, I get how you feel. These behaviors, these coping strategies that you're using are unacceptable and they're not going to work anymore. I need you to do this instead. The owner oftentimes can't do that if that behavior is at such a high rate, has had such a high rate of reinforcement. And that's where the value of the board and train comes in. I get people who reach out to me to talk about my flagship program at Socratic Canine, which is the Canine Blueprint. It's an online coaching program for dog owners. And if they have severe reactivity, I will tell them point blank, I will not even attempt to try to teach you how to correct that. If your dog has bitten someone, if your dog has hurt another dog, you need a board and train. You need in-person professional evaluation and possibly a board and train, because you can't responsibly do that online, and I won't be that guy. I can teach you how to build a relationship with the dog. I can teach you how to prevent that from happening. I can teach you how to keep it from coming back. But if that dog is hardwired to use these inappropriate and potentially dangerous behaviors to resolve these problems, you need a board and train.
I mean, so basically, I'll just add on to everything you guys said was great. I mean, so especially with the dogs that we deal with a lot of dogs with, very, horrible reactivity cases, some dogs with natural aggression, mismanagement on the handlers. I mean, tons of problems, you name it, we've trained it. And a lot of the times is that, the owners can't see the dog for what it is. There's a lot of emotional attachment. There's a lot of confusion. It's my baby. I don't want to do this. A lot of things going on. And so what we do is, like, I like to just describe it as like, we build a map, we learn your dog, we teach them the things to do, and then we show you this map. Okay, this is what you need to do. This is how you communicate with your dog after. We got all this done with your dog while they're with us. We show them all the videos. We keep them updated. We teach them. We basically teach them how to properly communicate with their dog, and then we help them transition out. So this actually helps them, go with the program that we've developed for that dog. And then now they can follow it up or follow through with it and make sure it sticks. But I mean, the whole board and train helping for reactivity, I think it's a great idea. I mean, when your dog is, so far down that, that rabbit hole of just, trying to nail anything that comes near it, or even trying to bite itself. I mean, we have a lot of, especially after, COVID or with the pandemic stuff, a lot of dogs with, horrible amounts of separation anxiety, tons of resource guarding, destroying shit, afraid of everything. And it's like they need a hard reset, and that's something that, a professional who knows what they're doing can actually help them do. And, that's kind of the benefit of board and trains in general. I mean, I think the board and train itself helps people see their dog for what it really is, and helps, and if the professional is describing it in a way that's best for the handler, helps them really understand their dog and learn how to communicate with them properly.
Can I just say, Tom's really good. I got to give Tom a little shout. The way he, like you just said, Mike, explain it to the owner, helping the owner see. One thing I will say about Tom that I really like that has contributed to wanting to build an alliance is the way he explains it to dog owners. It makes sense. He doesn't explain it the way I would. He swears not nearly enough to make me comfortable. I prefer a lot more F-bombs, but he has a knack for helping the dog owner overcome some of their emotional objections. And I've seen him do that a lot. And his little snippets that I've seen on Instagram or in the story, he got really good skills at disarming the dog owner's emotional objections, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah, and the only other thing I would add to that is just what I find too is it also empowers the dog owner to see the full potential. You get a dog in, and it doesn't matter if they're not coming back or they're having problems with behavior. Once we send videos, like Mike was saying, of the dog doing the exact thing that they've been struggling with for 6 months to 2 years, it also kind of resets them too, like the dog owners. They're confident. It's kind of like, you get a new gym membership, or you're kind of resetting. You're like, all right, this is what we're doing. We're gonna like restart. And I think that also turns a really big page for a lot of people, that they feel like, because you guys too, that when you're working with behavioral problems, there's 6 other trainers maybe before you that said this is impossible, you probably should just euthanize your dog. And then once a trainer unlocks that, and they're like, wait, why don't you try this? I've never thought of that. Well, let's try it. And then all of a sudden the owner is like, oh, it is possible. I think that's a big part of board and trains too, is there's some people, like KD and Mike just said, is they get too wrapped up emotionally in what they think their dog is, instead of actually, really what their dog is. It's just it's a mind game. So I think it empowers and really helps dog owners gain confidence by seeing what a professional can do with their dog.
Yeah, I mean, like what you said, it just like refreshes that relationship. Like all of a sudden it's just like a brand new thing. So it's like a second life for them. And
it's exciting.
And the thing too, like Tom brought up this part too. It's like, I see this a lot. I'm sure you probably see it a lot too, Tom, is that what happens, especially when we go into boarding trains, is that they go ahead and like they talk to 6 different trainers. They've gone to animal behaviorists. They've talked to, and Katie, you brought this up about people trying to take away our tools. They've talked to all these other positive reinforcement trainers and everything like that, and they've completely like demonized like the tools that we need to help correct these specific behaviors, or at least help them with that. And it's literally, I've had conversations where I've talked to people on the phone for like an hour trying to get them to get their dog into training versus euthanization, because the 6 other trainers or 10 other trainers that they've talked to told them just euthanize the dog. You can help the dog. And then they're like, well, how can we try to use, what if we use a prong collar or e-collar like that? That's an animal abuse, but euthanization is the next in line, like for the dog. And having to convince people that, hey, like this is the balanced way, and the way that we're going to do things is actually going to help. Has been, I'm lucky enough to be able to talk to many of these people to get them off of that before they jump. They do what can't be undone, and euthanize their dog. And like that's a big thing that I've noticed in the last year and a half. I mean, the push of demonizing the tools and opting to go euthanization versus balanced training has been something that we've been really, 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 really battling with here. What are you gonna say, KD?
Nothing. I was just looking at the question coming up in the chat. I can't say anything other than to agree with you on everything you said.
There's chat?
Yeah, if you click your screen, it should be to the right of it.
I don't have that.
So the question on the thing was said, what would you say is the most important skill you teach the owners to maintain that long-term success after the board and train? For us, all of our board and trains comes with lifetime dog training assistance. So we continuously help them. Plus you have transition lessons where we teach them what the dog already knows, and lifetime group training as well. So we try to stay as a support system for all of our board and train clients to ensure that the dogs, because we deal, like same thing kind of what Tom deals with is we deal with a lot of high risk cases, and people who are going to put their dogs down, or dogs with bite records and all types of stuff. So we want to make sure that we're continuously a support system, and that way they can maintain it. Because if you don't, similar to working out, if you don't use it, you'll lose it type of a thing. Same thing with behaviors. The board and train isn't just drop off and you're done and dog is programmed and it's that's it. It does take maintenance. So we offer all that. Anything to add to that, Tom?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say we offer free lifetime support because we just care so much. And every dog that leaves we keep a very I could talk all lifetime about dogs, which is why we're all talking, I guess. But I think there's some training camps that just it's not wrong, right, or indifferent, but they have the amount of dogs that some people have versus like what we have. Like right now, I can tell you we have 5 full-time trainers other than me in our old facility. When we move to our new one, we've already had people on hire, but we only take 8 dogs. Like we're very specific about that. And there's some training camps that also do 70 dogs to 5 trainers. So I think also too, I guess my point is just you have to be very selective about finding somebody who understands your needs and wants and desires, and making sure, like, if you have a very, very high risk behavioral case, that you're working with somebody that's going to give your dog a lot of attention. I just worked with a borbal in Montana. I put a YouTube video out on it this last week, and this dog went through a training camp, and it was in the crate at 6 months for 22 hours a day. And just didn't get trained and messed it up pretty bad. And now he's this linebacker. You guys imagine like an intact male borbal. Now he's this linebacker of a dog that has zero socialization, has been way overcrated. So the only thing I would add to that is we do offer lifetime training, because we care. If your dog leaves our training camp and your dog leaves our program, we love them and care for them as they are our own dog. So if you're messing up in the future, come back and we'll teach you how to do it. But on top of that, just making sure that you're finding, a trainer that doesn't have 100 dogs in their program with 5 different trainers. So as dog owners, you guys should be asking those questions of how many dogs do you typically, because that's something we get asked all the time, is like, what should I be asking on my online consulting? And I tell people, if you're looking for a dog trainer specifically for board and train, ask how many dogs are in their program at any given time and how many trainers are going to be contributing to their training, because that's something that, like, I'll lose sleep over at night sometimes, where I'm like, I almost want 1-to-1, which I know isn't realistic or sustainable, but I think that that's a good question. You guys, as dog owners who are watching this, if you're considering board and train, obviously you've done your research on your reviews. I mean, everybody researches, like, going out to dinner. I'm sure you're researching where you're sending your dog to. So those are questions that you can ask to make sure that you're getting quality training and you could trust it.
Yep, 100%. All righty, I got another one here. All right, this is a good one for everybody. Biggest piece of advice you would give someone just getting into learning dog behavior / training. So basically, biggest advice you can get into someone who's trying to be an up-and-coming dog trainer. Go for it. Whoever wants to go.
I can go. Yeah, I could go. Is this like geared towards like behavior? Is that what the question was?
Yeah, so I'm assuming they're learning more about dog behavior, but they want to become a dog trainer.
Yeah. Okay. So my answer to this is always watch as much as you can. I don't want to say get your hands on as many dogs as you can, but go and shadow, like I did with Mike. Like, I wanted to get the ball rolling. So there's so many programs out there that offer some sort of mentorship program, or 6 months to a year, etc. So I guess my answer to that is, you have to, in my opinion, it's best to watch somebody who is already doing it, do it for a while until you, because if you get into working with behavioral cases, you're pulling with emotion. So you're dealing with fear, you're dealing with aggression, potentially, you're dealing with so many PTSD, stress, anxiety. So you got to be careful when you're working with behavioral cases. It's something that, like, unlike obedience, you can rebuild obedience. If somebody messes up a sit, you can rebuild that. But when you're working with behavior, you got to be really careful about just jumping into it. So I always suggest getting into some sort of program, or going to shadow somebody that you like and how they train, and trying to get in as deep as you can before you offer your services. That's what I did. So
I would definitely agree. Quick question for you guys. Can you guys see, because I have 2 blank screens.
I can see you.
I got everything clear.
All right, cool. As long as you guys can see, that's good. So I just see me. All right, KD.
You want me to answer this one, or you want me to tell you how neither one of you answered the last question?
Wait.
What was the last
question?
The board and train question. I got a whole lot to say, but no one fucking asked me.
Oh, you did answer that.
No, I didn't. Y'all just assumed because I don't fucking do board and train, I don't have anything to say about it.
No,
No,
because you
you
usually
did.
just say stuff.
No, I didn't.
I thought you said.
No, I didn't. Mike answered it, and Tom answered it, and I sat and I kept my mouth shut to see if anyone was going to ask me. And they're like, "No, Katie does online shit. You ain't got to say."
I think you answered.
No, I'll bet you the 2 rounds of beers next week that I didn't answer it.
Well, I can't see the comments, but if the people are in the comments and they're saying, Katie, you did, because I thought you said something, oh, that's my client, and then you took it. And that's why I was like, oh, let him take it.
I didn't take it.
Oh, take it.
Take it.
Go for it.
I don't give a shit about skills. It's about principles. So the question is, what skill is most important to teach someone to preserve the board and train? It ain't got shit to do with skills. It's got to do with principles. So maybe we could stretch it and say the skill is controlling your fucking emotions so that you can realize and process what a dog is and how they see the world. But this whole thing, because when I hear the word skill, you know what I think of? Method. Skills and methods are very closely associated. And anybody who follows me knows I'm the anti-method guy. I always quote Pat Nolan. If we don't know the principle, we'll be a slave to the method forever. And for the person doing the board and train, when they get their dog back, it really isn't about skill, because quite honestly, the professional who did the board and train has the skill to deprogram the aggression, to deprogram the reactivity, to install the desired behaviors, to create fluency on the desired behaviors. The skill was done by the professional doing the board and train. You know what that freaking dog owner needs? They don't need a skill. They need to understand how their dog sees the world. They need to understand their role in the relationship they have with their dog to maintain the things that the highly skilled professional did during the board and train. So, if anything, the only skill is emotional control, controlling yourself. I did a live on my IGTV today. I was stuck in traffic, and I did a whole big thing about controlling your emotions and being able to make sure you do not become emotional when you need to be a leader, to be objective, to be what your dog needs you to be. If you can't control your emotional reactions, if you can't control your state of mind, you will not be able to control your dogs. And that professional who has the skills, who did the board and train, they did all that heavy lifting for you. So to maintain that, yes, there are a couple things you need to know, but they're all principle based. And as far as skills go, controlling yourself is the skill you need to master to be able to control your dog's behavior and maintain that work in the board and train. Thank you for asking, Tucker.
I'm just so used to you talking, Katie, that I thought you answered the question.
Oh, that was a good burn, man. That was a good burn. You are getting better. I respect it.
You should pat yourself on the back, because that's all coming from hanging out with you.
I'm contagious. I'm contagious. Well, what was the second question that you did actually ask me?
It was about your fruity beer that you're drinking.
This beer sucks. Fuck Quakertown, Pennsylvania. No offense to the residents, but this place is not cool at all.
The biggest piece of advice you could give someone getting into learning dog behavior / training.
Go to a shelter and clean up dog shit and take dogs in and out of kennels as often as you can. Go to a veterinary place, see if they'll allow you to take dogs out and walk them. You got to understand dogs before you start worrying about dog training. You got to get bit. You got to figure out how not to get bit. You got to figure out how to look at a dog and understand what the dog is thinking. And that comes through repetition. That comes through doing shit that nobody else wants to do. It will not come from a book. It will not come from my program online. It will not come from a YouTube video. It will come from interacting with dogs and hopefully finding a mentor who will watch you, allow you to fuck up, and then explain to you why you fucked up after they first ask you why you think you fucked up. That's how you get started.
Yes, that's I would of course, Katie.
I love it.
So the biggest piece of advice, adding on to what the guy said and everything, like when I have apprentices come over, I mean, the things that they do is like, they pick up shit. If someone's gonna come around like and try to, learn the stuff we have and put the hands on our dogs and everything like that is, they got to pick up shit. I put every single one of my apprentices in a bite suit. They got to understand how to think when when the bite is on, when something's going on, to understand like high level stress. So I'll put them on a bite suit and I'll put one of my dogs on them, tack them on, see how they deal with that. And then I just have them watch and learn. And I advise even my trainers now, the trainers that I have that I train that are now, my guys, I tell them like, learn from as many people as you can, watch as many people as you can. If you see someone's style, watch their style, see if you can adapt that to your style, just try to gain different perspectives, because the way that I convey things may not be the way that anybody else may convey things, because that's what works for me. That's what works for my style of training. Although our principles, Katie's favorite word, are the same, the way that we convey the message is different. And it has to be something that comes from you organically. It has to be something that comes from you naturally. And, like for, my team right now, the guys that I have, one of my guys is into really high level competitive obedience, and he really likes that stuff. And for me, like, I like doing it, like if I kind of want to do it, but like it's hit or miss depending on what I'm feeling like during that time. And one of my guys is more into protection, and one of my guys is more into decoying, and someone's more into like rescue and behavioral. And, it's just all finding different, different avenues within, the industry, and just figuring out what works best for them. So the person who's looking to get into this stuff and looking to learn, I mean, find a mentor, or like Katie said, go to a shelter, go pick up poop, go watch dog behaviors, watch dogs, watch people, watch good trainers. These guys that are on Drinks and Dogs right now, watch them on social media. Katie is very, as you guys, if you're watching this, you can hear Katie and how he talks. He's very passionate and he talks a lot, and he knows how to break things down in a way that are not as simple as the way that I would talk. And same thing with Tom. Just watch how people convey the message, watch their work, listen to them, see how it applies to dogs, and see how it, how you like it. And then when you kind of figure out what avenue you want to go into, find a mentor in that avenue and learn from them as much as you can. And as you continuously learn, I know for like myself, I'm continuously learning. There's no stopping. I don't ever think that, we know everything or anything like that. There's always dogs are born every day. Environments are changing drastically, consistently. So mentally, a lot of things are changing with dogs. I mean, even now with freaking, I'm sure Tom and Katie, you guys are seeing this right now too. The amount of behavioral issues that popped up from pandemic, the amount of dogs that came out of the pandemic. I mean, holy shit, it's insane how many dogs were produced during that time.
Separation anxiety.
Oh, I mean, just the amount of like, I don't even know. I mean, breeding had to like quadruple, if not like more, during pandemic, because we're seeing so many fucking dogs. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you can't keep up.
It's insane. Well, shoot, guys, we're about to come up to the hour marker here, so you guys are letting me know here. Anything, I guess, Katie, what's going on with you? Anything you would need anybody to know?
Follow me on Instagram at Katie Matthews, one of the behind the scenes guys. They used to do the little thing where it's a follow so-and-so. Like, that's it. Just follow me on Instagram. Instagram is my home. I'm traveling for the next couple weeks up and down the East Coast. Of course, my Canine Blueprint students get first dibs on any one-on-ones with me, but anybody else who wants me to stop by and either an evaluation, look at what they got going on with their dog, I will be throughout the entire New England area and up and down the I-95 corridor. Instagram. Just follow me on Instagram. You'll get all you need to know, and probably a lot of shit you didn't want to know, but you needed to.
Tom, what's going on with you, man? Nothing. I'm just following KD. That's it. Yeah, no, I think the only thing I would say is like in August, we're starting to release some online stuff, more like module stuff. So, yeah, but you know, I'm going to be announcing that as I go, but no, I appreciate you guys having me on, and it was fun. And then it's good, you know,
next week.
Yeah. Text me for sure.
Awesome.
And then Mike, we'll see you in November, right? The dates are what, the 12th through the something or other?
Yeah, the 12th and like 2 days after that.
Yeah.
Working a bunch of dogs.
Yeah, so Mike's coming up. Mike's coming up to do what would you call it, like a personal protection decoy seminar at my facility in Upstate. Yep. So you guys be on the lookout for that. We're excited. That's always fun. Katie, if you're around, come hang out.
I might make a trip up. Like if I can go see my mom and dad and hang out, if the three of us can get together at the same time, I'll fucking fly up for that.
Hell yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's really good times.
Yeah, we got a good PSA group that's local, that we're pretty tight with, and you know, we go out after every other seminar, but we had a really great time last time, so it'll be fun.
A soon-to-be Canine Street League training group.
Yep. Oh, speaking of that, so Canine Street League in September. Katie Matthews will be out in San Diego. Tom, you should come out to San Diego as well. Have a good time with us. That'll be the first trial for Canine Street League. Looking forward to that. I think a couple announcements they want me to make too. Another Dying to Live episode just dropped today on YouTube, so go over and check that out. And then for PCU Online, Michael Nesmith will be doing it live, so check out PCU Online. For all, if you guys don't follow us, Primal Canine. And I want to say thank you again, Katie, for taking some time. I know on your drive, and of course, Tom, thank you so much for taking your time as well. Cheers, fellas. Appreciate you guys for being on.
Cheers, thank you.
And
have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too, guys. And thanks to everybody who took time out of their Friday to listen to us ramble on about dogs and getting drunk when we have a good time together. So
yeah, thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
All right, guys. Everyone have a good, safe weekend.
Take care.
All right,
guys.
you too.
Later.
Bye.